Well, welcome back to the channel. We hope you're safe and well. We started those videos all the same way because actually this is all about being good in mind and health and getting out into the great outdoors and enjoying it. And as you can see, I'm here with my excellent friend, Mr. Andy Ward.
Hello, morning guys. First of all, apologise again for the delay in getting these done. Life sometimes deals you a cold blow and things. However, we're back and today we're going to do part one of the walk between Wheathampstead and Welwyn Garden City. It'll have to be part one because as we get to Ayot, somebody built the A1M right through the middle of our walk.
Which is very inconsiderate, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. How dare they?
We're starting at a place that you recognise well, and it's been some time since we both pointed at this sign.
Indeed.
Hope you enjoy the walk.
This station was opened on the 1st of September 1860 and lasted all the way through till the 26th of April 1965. It had one slight change during the First World War when Vauxhall were building big guns for the Navy. They carted it along the Low Luton Road. Unfortunately, they couldn't get it under the bridge. So they had to hire a bridge and therefore make the platform a bit bigger. And one of the usual people who used to come here quite frequently, George Bernard Shaw, is still sitting here waiting for his train. Such was the character of him that if he was late, they would actually hold the train for him. So you have to be quite somebody to be able to stop a train and delay it for a few minutes. But there he is.
And Andy, you were telling me yesterday you met the gentleman.
Yes, I was at Brampton Model Railway exhibition yesterday helping out, and I actually got talking to the guy who actually sculpted this. I wish I could remember the guy's name. What a marvellous job he did.
Yeah, and if you happen to be watching the video, please pop a comment on so that we can give you some credit for the fabulous work you've done there in woodwork. Now, you've got something to tell me about this little wagon as well,
yes, haven't you? I learnt, though I should have known myself, this is actually a Great Western wagon, probably built either at Swindon or Gloucester Carriage Wagon Works, but it's Great Western. But obviously they put J.W. Titmuss on. Titmuss was a local dealer who did seeds like corn and what have you. So during its heyday, although Great Western wagons probably would have run up here from time to time, it certainly wouldn't have J.W. Titmuss written on it. But doesn't matter, it's here, and what a fabulous thing it is.
And as you all know, this track here has been salvaged from the Luton and Dunstable section.
Yes, I believe it's actually part of the original railway line from Luton when they dug the line up and bought it here.
Brilliant.
Our first port of call today is going to be Marford Crossing. Now, it's exactly the same as Lacey Bridge Crossing, except for Marford Crossing was a tiny little lane basically used for farmers. But as we get there, and I'll show you the pictures, the extent to which the railways had to provide health and safety, even in them days, by making a building where a crossing keeper would have lived for what is ideally just a farmer's track, beggars belief. But however, it remained there until about 1969, 1970 when it was demolished.
And we do have a small problem with the route because, as is quite evident, there's nowhere to walk. So we're gonna be taking some interesting routes to get there.
Yes, the track bed, as you can see, isn't there anymore.
Yeah.
The embankment has been taken away and it's been built on by houses.
So we will take an interesting route, but we'll talk you through it. Brilliant. We just walked down the steps, and of course you can see the height that the station would have been at. So here, there's a gap.
Yes, there was another bridge here. Wheathampstead Station was actually built between two bridges. On the other side was Station Road. Here you had 2 brick abutments with a plate girder decking across the top. And of course this was an embankment.
Yeah.
All taken out. In fact, this was taken out by Murphy Chemicals because they wanted to make their factory larger. And when they applied for permission, the council, parish council, whoever, declined it. So Murphy Chemicals moved away, completely moved out. I don't know where Murphy Chemicals are now, but as you can see, all their factory and all that is completely gone. It's all a housing estate now. You see the track bed was through there.
Yeah, I wonder, I suspiciously think that those...
yeah, I'm not sure what they are. Don't think they are anything.
They do look a little bit like something we would recognise.
This. The High Sheriff of Hertfordshire used to live here, and he used to live in there.
So it was a house?
Oh yeah, it was a house. Yeah. The road would have veered off and gone off towards Connecticut, and Corey Whiteway didn't exist.
After the track bed came over that second bridge,
Yes.
did it then descend?
No, it actually climbed a little bit. You can't see. Obviously, we've walked up a hill to get here.
Yeah.
So we are now looking down on the track bed, which is still higher here than the Wheathampstead platform.
Right, so it's just strange perspective because we've actually gained height
Yes.
by walking up the road.
Yes, we've actually climbed higher than what the track bed was.
Right.
Though, as I say, it did actually climb on a slight gradient
Yeah.
from Wheathampstead up to the crossing at Marford Road. It would have gone more straight across.
All right, so because that road would have been over there.
Yeah, that's right. The original road went over there.
And then now we're on to the newer road.
We're on the Wheathampstead bypass of the Corey Right Way.
Suspect that we're filming something that won't be here much longer.
It looks like it. This could affect us.
Because that sign even says this might affect you as well. Major development. So again, we're filming history before it disappears.
Somewhere in there, the track bed was. But when we get to where we're going to go, literally in a couple of minutes, we can actually look back and probably might even be able to trace the track bed itself, because although it's grassed over or farmed on, you always get disturbance on the land.
Yeah.
And you can always see it, especially from the air. Although the level of the road is still slightly higher than the track bed was, just over there you can see there's an entrance place. About 20 years ago there was talk about reopening Blackbridge sidings to use it as a dump again, but they realised that maybe it wasn't good enough on one of you. However, as they started building it or looking into it, they actually built a road. A road is about 50 yards long, and that is on the track bed.
Let's go and have a look. I'm a little pleased that we're on the left-hand side at this moment.
Yes.
Because it's been a bit scary on the right-hand side.
Well, the thing is, you're supposed to be facing the traffic.
Yeah.
When you're walking along.
Yeah, we were.
And we were, but we're not now.
Except for the cars that nearly wanted us to get in with them.
Yeah, here we are.
Here's the road. Wow, what an investment.
And the thing is, you can see they built this road when they was going to predominantly maybe open up Blackbridge sidings again, or Blackbridge dump, but they quickly realised it couldn't be done, so they put these massive great concrete things here to stop people coming up the road. And of course, over the years, it's just overgrown.
Yeah, nature takes it back.
It's incredible. There's a road under here that goes out onto the main Corey Right Way. But you wouldn't notice, you wouldn't know.
I wonder This might be a strange question.
Incredible.
How many potholes are on this one?
Well, this is a new road they built.
What do you reckon, eh, guys?
Yeah.
And this is it.
This is it. This is the track bed. We are now at the top of the hill that come from Wheathampstead. You can just about see a plate layer's hut. That would have been just over there. And as you can see, we are reaching the brow of the hill. So this is where this picture would have been taken.
The road that leads to nowhere.
Literally.
So the plate house would have been on the left side or the right?
On the left side, mostly at the top of this, as we're climbing, and we're still climbing. And you can see now quite clearly, look at this, look, the fence posts.
Yes.
We're actually in a slight shallow cutting now.
For those of you of us who love these fence posts, they follow us along everywhere.
All the way along. We are now actually on the track bed. And the plate layer's hut would have been around here somewhere.
Interesting. Interesting.
In fact,
What are we seeing here?
a bit of concrete there, look.
Oh,
There, isn't it? Yeah.
What have we got?
Well,
Track?
I'm not sure what that is exactly.
No, it's wood.
It's like concrete or wood or something, but
Well,
that
it's
could well
definitely
be
shaped
part of the plate layer's hut.
In fact, he's left his belongings. No. Oh, and a bottle of beer. Well, it's not moving. There's no chance that that's part of... Do you think that's like a telegraph pole?
Listen, that could well have been a telegraph pole. The remains of.
There's well, it's moving, but I ain't got the strength to lift it.
No, we are now at the end of the road which they built in when there was talk about reopening the dump. But as you can see, we're still on the track bed proper, and this is the end of the road.
It's the end of the road.
About 100 yards long, 120 yards long maybe. And now we come down onto the track bed, as it probably would have been. However, very, very much overgrown. But we're still in a shallow cutting.
It would have gone straight, it wouldn't have meandered like we're walking now, would it?
Oh, good grief, no. Straight along, mate. Don't forget, these wouldn't have been here.
Yeah. We're starting to see some leftover infrastructure which we're trying to identify, because clearly you don't get parts like this sitting here for nothing.
Right, this is an Ordnance Survey map from 1923 of Blackbridge sidings. However, we have just walked along here from Marford Road, Wheathampstead, and I think we're about here, because you can see there's the lane that we're about to go up to now. There's the footpath, which is there, and I think this could well be a signal post that protected the gravel pit that closed in about 1949, 1950. There's the gravel pit here. We are just here.
Well done, well spotted, Andy.
Yes, because look at the angle. It's going across and over that way.
Yeah, which is...
So that's got to be it.
Feel like we're on time, team.
And if you look at the line of trees, that is... I can't remember the name. I've got it written down.
It will come to you.
It will come to me. And you can see there's fence post.
Yeah. Yeah, all fits, doesn't it?
Yeah, all fits. We are now coming to the top of Sheepcote Lane, where Marford Crossing is. You can see quite clearly here, it was just a tiny little country lane, but here there was a crossing. This was substantial. I'm about to show you.
Right, well, let's walk up and have a look.
Right, we come this way. You got to remember, this was just a farmer's track. There's nothing major here. Hello. Sheepcote Lane. The quality of the picture ain't great.
All right, one sec. We'll just let this lady walk past.
Hello. Hello.
Hello, doggy.
Okay, we are now standing almost exactly in the same place that this photograph was taken around 1960, showing the crossing keeper's gate and the gates themselves that protected Sheepcote Lane. This was called Marford Crossing. I think Marford is an area of Wheathampstead, hence the name Marford Crossing. But this was a tiny little farmer's track, hardly ever used. But look at the infrastructure here, the size of the house, which had to be manned 24 hours a day, 365 days a year when the line was open. This is what it's like today.
So we're stood on the track, on the path.
On the path,
yeah,
Sheepcote Lane.
Yeah.
Yep.
And if I step forward, where be the house? Well,
the house was literally just here.
it's a gone. You would not have a Scooby-Doo, would you? You wouldn't have a clue that somebody lived there.
This bit here was the house.
We're standing on a house.
We're standing where the house was.
Oh, there's my house. Oh, get off my land.
This was it.
Somebody lived here in
Yeah.
a house and you wouldn't have a clue.
And their job, and without being sexist, was mostly done by women. Because their husbands would be away working and they would get paid not a great deal of money, but they were here to open and close the gates. And as I said, this was probably just a farm track, probably hardly ever used, but it had to be manned.
Yeah.
Okay, we're standing now in almost exactly the same spot again, showing you quite clearly the house with the crossing keeper's gate and the lady who used to keep this. This would have been around 1910, 1920 time, judging by her dress and what have you.
How would they know there was a train coming?
They would have had bells and they would have had a timetable.
Right.
They would have had a warning from possibly the signal box at 8 to say there's a
So
train
the bell
coming.
would go.
Yes. Yeah.
Wow.
Okay, this is a picture. We're actually standing on the track bed now, looking towards Blackbridge Sidings and Welwyn Garden City, and you can see quite clearly on the right hand side was the crossing keeper's house. This picture was taken around 1967-68 time. Obviously the line itself wasn't being used then. This is just before the track was taken up. But you can see the house is very, very quickly in dilapidation, and by 1969, 1970 all this had gone, and that's what you get now.
So the house would have been on the right there as we're standing on the track. So that's Sheepcote Lane.
Yep.
That goes through.
That goes from Wheathampstead to Cuddicut.
And we're in. It's turned into quite a little throwaway of people walking. It's the Greenway Management and Maintenance Plan signs everywhere. Back onto the track.
So if we walk,
Past the house.
and in 1950s, right up until the end of the line, when the line closed, the crossing keeper was Mrs. Elizabeth Emma Owens, who kept the gates open closed until the line was closed on the 26th of April 1965.
We're standing approximately where we can't get exactly in this shot of the photo because foliage to our left, but we're almost at that point because the track's on the right of her house there, and that's just to the right of me now. we just found this map along the route, which is in a little bit of disrepair, but here's the sewer cutting. You remember that we started way back during COVID, and we went past the forbidden car park. Do you remember during COVID we weren't allowed to film? We got told off. Wow. And here we go along the railway track. It's not in the best of conditions, this map, but you can see it. It comes into Luton, leaves Luton, comes out Luton Hoo Station. Then as we come down further, we come to Harpenden East. Now don't panic, people, because we will be filming Harpenden East exclusively on another video, but that one takes more time to do. And this is where Andy will pick up.
Indeed. Obviously we've run this walk all the way down to what was Leasey Bridge Crossing, but then we couldn't follow the track bed anymore into Wheathampstead because it's private land now, privately owned. But we started here at Wheathampstead Station. We had to come out slightly away, but then on a track bed on Corey Right Way. We've just come along here, crossed the footpath. We're now just around here at the top of Sheepcote Lane, and then we're walking to Blackbridge Sidings. This is where all the rubbish out of London from Ashburton Grove was taken, and had been taken for getting on for 100 years. And it's just a few yards further on. From Blackbridge Sidings we'll carry on the track bed all the way into Ayot, but then we can't go any further because this map shows quite clearly the original A1, but now there's an A1M right through the middle of this. So you can see it's a few miles, probably about 3 or 4 miles, but the other one is only a couple.
Somebody put a big road in the middle, so that don't help us, does it?
So it doesn't, no. No, it would have been nice to, but that's Harpenden. That's a picture, I've got one very similar to that. That's at Ayot, just the other side of the station. It had a big yard, huge yard. That's a famous picture.
Yeah. No spoilers here. It's nothing like Titanic going on here, but we're not going to say what that was. Well,
it tells you.
Yeah, things didn't go so well. There we go.
Right.
That's on record. Well, we suspect we're in front of the camera.
Yeah, well, I think we are, definitely.
Could be.
Right. Brilliant. I'm getting better. It's only taken 5 years.
But if you think, right, every time we filmed, if somebody went past on a bike like that, we'd have to stop.
I know. Oh, yeah, but
do you remember the amount of times we stopped? It was like.
Yeah. So it's entirely up to you. I'm not going to tell you, but if we just walk along here, along the platform to the end there, then everyone knows we're at Wheathampstead.
So Andy, where are we going today?
Right, we're going to the first port of call we're going to is something called Leasey Bridge Crossing. No, it's not.
Why? Yeah, well, it's not called that.
Leasey Bridge is that way.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
All right. So
our first port of call today.
Hang on. Pause. Because I've got to break the video. 3, 2, 1. Of course it ain't. Of course my phone's not in my pocket. It's on the tripod, isn't it? Idiot I am.
From what I can remember, the pictures I've got, it had brick abutments and a gate. Had brick abutments and a metal. Oh, for God's sake! What's the word?
What's the word?
What's the word?
What's the word, Andy?
Metal decking. All right.
Okay, right.
Okay.
So as you can see, there's a gap.
Yes, there used to be a bridge just here as well. The station was actually built between 2 bridges, one at Station Road and one here, and it was brick abutments with a girder plate abutment on it. A girder.
Right, I'll tell you what.
With a steel girder decking.
Okay.
Right.
So as you can see, there's a gap.
Yep. Well, just here there was another bridge. Wheathampstead Station was actually built between 2 bridges. The other side was Station Road. Here you had 2 brick abutments with a plate girder decking across the top.
It's a bit of a mouthful, that one there, but you did it well, Andy. Well done. Cheers. They do look a little bit like something we would recognise.
Yes, it's a posh school.
Don't get run over, Andy.
I can say it if you want.
I'll tell you what. You already have, because I recorded it.
Brilliant. Brilliant. You see, when I'm not not being filmed, I'm word perfect. Fine. All the way out of St Albans. Wheathampstead.
Wheathampstead.
Now,
if you can hear a crunching noise going on in my bag, it's because there's a packet of crisps in there.
lovely.
And it's clearly
Yeah,
crunching around.
I bought me lunch.
So by the time I actually do consume those crisps, there'll probably be 15 billion pieces in one packet.
Just to let you know, we won't be coming back this way.
Yeah. This is life in your hands corner. There we are. I nearly got in them cars.
We'll be walking down Sheepcote Lane.
You discover all sorts of things here, and I felt like I'm in America, you know, doing a Top Gear, but this humma dumma ding dongs, but it's not very nice to look at.
It don't smell very good either.
Yeah, I'll put a little message on that in case you people are a little bit sensitive.
Okay.
Probably.
Oh dear.
Yeah, it looks like an oh dear moment.
Again,
Here we are.
oh,
So if you're going to spend money on something, build a road.
this can't be it. It must be further round.
Oh, we're wrong.
Hang on.
Or are we wrong?